Once considered an icon of mall-based specialty retailing, Abercrombie had become increasingly irrelevant, rocked by scandal, and dispatched as a cancelled relic of the dying mall economy. So, what accounts for this remarkable turnaround? The brand is performing extremely well under the leadership of Fran Horowitz and her management team. When Horowitz was elevated to CEO in February 2017, sales and profits were going down and shares were at only $12. Since the day she took charge, her mandate was a complete reinvention. The company took reputational hits from damaging media reports on Abercrombie and its former CEO Mike Jeffries, who left the business in 2014.
The ad suggests it, but now we're hearing it straight from the CEO. Abercrombie & Fitch doesn't want larger women wearing its clothes, so it won't even stock sizes larger than a 10.
It's short-sighted. It's not fair. It's stupid.
I think that's unethical.
In a new book on retail, CEO Mike Jeffries is quoted in a 2006 interview saying Abercrombie & Fitch markets only to skinny and beautiful people. He said, candidly, we go after the cool kids. We go after the attractive all-American kid with a great attitude and a lot of friends. A lot of people don't belong in our clothes and they can't belong. Are we exclusionary? Absolutely.
So the new CEO had a lot on her plate to deal with. The brand first accepted the harsh reality and then started working to fix the problems. They came close to their customers and was taking up criticism pretty good, which helped them to re-engineer merchant processes, reinvent the brand, and accelerate digital investments. Re-engineering merchant processes. When Horowitz took over, the merchandising function was totally broken. Jeffries was known for controlling, or at least approving, all customer-facing creative decisions. For clothing, this extended from the no black clothing. Black was considered too dressy for the Abercrombie brand. He took no suggestions, and no any creative ideas from other employees were entertained. The brand was expanding its reach by launching Abercrombie Kids, Hollister, and Gilly Hicks, while also expanding into new store formats, channels, and geographies. The brand was in dire need of expertise, which proved to be beyond the capacity of Jeffries. However, under Horowitz's leadership, the merchants were given both longer-term strategic and shorter-term tactical responsibility for building their merchandise categories and incorporating customer, competitive, and fashion trends into their work. The current re-engineering took a substantial investment in process redesign, consumer research, and new talent, and needless to say, several years to operationalize and optimize.
Getting close to that customer, understanding what they're looking for is the win. When you put out there a great product, fashion, and an equation that they're excited about, they're willing to spend.
Reinventing the Abercrombie Fitch brand. Evolving the Abercrombie brand was an even bigger hurdle. There was no clear endpoint, and thus, no roadmap. In the 1990s, Jeffries and the Limited Incorporated CEO Les Wexner created a fictional narrative of the aspirational customers, a ripped, handsome, cool guy and his equally comely, totally natural girlfriend, both juniors at the University of Virginia living a full frat/sorority social life, and, when wearing clothes, dressed in casual prep. The idea behind these images was that teens would buy into the brand because they aspired to look like them, socialize with them, date them, be them. Jeffries famously said the brand was designed not for everyone, but for the cool kids. Its lifestyle brand architecture was copied from the luxury designer world, with Ralph Lauren as the biggest influence. Indeed, Abercrombie quickly became the teen luxury brand, offering premium fabrics, premium prices, and a club-like store atmosphere. This positioning worked fabulously. In fiscal year 1999, the brand achieved $1 billion in sales and, wait for it, a 23.5% operating margin. The brand continued to grow until the Great Recession in 2008-09, which impacted nearly every premium brand, but mostly recovered by 2011. Fall from grace. Beginning in 2012, the brand entered a 7-year slide. The brand had edged to $2.1 billion in sales in 2011. By 2019, it shrank to $1.5 billion. There are many reasons for Abercrombie's decline: the quick rise and cannibalization from Hollister, the tsunami of smartphone culture and e-commerce, and declining mall traffic. But perhaps the most significant factor was that the Abercrombie brand was increasingly considered not just out of touch, but also actively discriminatory. The focus on the singular hero body and attitude no longer exerted its pull.
This used to be the hottest teen brand in the world, yet under Jeffrey's recent leadership, Abercrombie & Fitch has become practically irrelevant.
Rising from the ashes, Horowitz and her team had other ideas. They knew in 2017 that the brand needed to become more modern, inclusive, and digitally driven. Millennials aging out of their teens were still the largest segment of the population, and the teen specialty apparel space, led by the American Eagle and Hollister brands, was hotly contested. Hollister's sales surpassed Abercrombie's in 2012. But Horowitz wanted to get all the foundational stuff done first, stabilize the business, and fix the merchant function. During this transitional period, the team did major consumer listening as well as merchandise and marketing testing.
Our formula of staying close to the customer and really understanding what their lifestyle is and what they're looking for is key to our success. That, accompanied with a lean inventory and this chase model that we have created that helps us make sure that we're listening, we're testing, we're learning, and we're reacting to the business in real time, is really helping us drive these results.
Horowitz's catchphrase at the time was patience.
Number one lesson that I brought with me was patience and timing. And to think that you can do it all at once, you're going to burn out your team, and they're not even going to be here to do it for you. So that was a big, important lesson for me. So I feel like when I got to Abercrombie, I just knew I had to pace it differently. I think building the team is also incredibly important because we had a lot of long-term associates, many of whom are still with us, and we have new thinking. And bringing those two together is one of my proudest moments that I've built a team that actually has some of the, original thinkers as well as some new thinkers, and that brought together some incredible energy. And lastly, make a mistake. And when you make the mistake, just fix it and move on. But if you wait until you think everything is perfect and ready to go, you're going to stand still, you're not going to get anywhere. But I will tell you, the company was at quite an inflection point. And, with between the business, the profitability, and all the things that were swirling around, I mean, the first 2 years were extraordinarily challenging.
You could see that their assortments were evolving, but it was unclear what the final destination was. Then at their June 2022 Investor Day, the corporation announced that they were no longer targeting teens with Abercrombie, but rather millennials and adults 21 to 40 plus years.
Well, the exciting thing is that we've actually separated the brands. If you go back through the history, Hollister is truly the iconic global teen brand, and we've been able to really age up Abercrombie. We've expanded the addressable market. I mean, the consumer now starts with Abercrombie when they're in their early 20s. They stay with us well through their 40s. And additionally, we've just completely grown all the categories, no longer being a jeans and t-shirt company, but caring for all their different lifestyles. It's truly a lifestyle brand, sorry, as I was trying to explain. Today, they come to us for all sorts of occasions, from their wedding parties to their bachelorette parties to where to work to going out on the weekends. So the addressable market, as well as the range of what we offer, is much greater than what it used to be.
Accelerating digital. Jeffries always promoted the youthful attitude of brands, and his creative vision was most vividly imagined in analog. The younger Horowitz and her even younger team better understood digital natives. They began closing Abercrombie flagship stores in New York and other international fashion capitals, and invested more heavily in digital marketing, e-commerce, and unified commerce capabilities. In 2022, as part of their strategic plan, they announced an initiative to accelerate an enterprise-wide digital revolution, propelling investments in customer analytics and a concerted effort to improve the customer experience. To increase awareness and buzz around Abercrombie's new brand positioning, The plan was to spend more money on digital and influencer-driven marketing.
And the influencers are a very big part of our business. That user-generated content that they create is something that really resonates with our consumer. People count on and believe their friends and their peers more than they believe what a company is telling you. And we've learned that through the ages. So that's a very important part of what we do. We have a creator suite where many people advocate on behalf of our brand. Some of it's done organically, some of it is done through partnerships. There's lots of different ways to approach it.
9 out of 10 consumers trust influencers over brands, and influencer ads deliver 44% higher attention metrics and 6 times higher return on ad spend on average compared to social benchmarks. People want to see themselves represented in content, full stop. And when people feel represented in content and messaging, that leads to better business outcomes.
When you walk into a store or visit the site, you cannot immediately tell where you are. There is no design signature, no unique voice. They still lack an updated, holistic brand identity. For now, they've done a great job designing and assorting products for their target customers, creating a great shopping experience.
What do you think will be your legacy in retail or in life?
I guess what I would hope for is that my legacy would be a leader that people really enjoyed working for. Someone who brought them inspiration, happiness, taught them a lot along the way, had them take away good lessons from all of that. But I think leadership would be my most important thing that would make me the happiest.